What is up, ladies and gentle nerds? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet. And today, it's the final day of Ikoria spoilers. It's been a wild ride, guys. But we're here. We're finally here. We have seen the whole set. We now have an idea of what we have in store for us. And there is some craziness in this set. Things are going to get absolutely insane. You and I both know that. We've seen a lot of incredibly powerful cards. If you've been keeping up with the coverage either on Twitter or Twitch or your social media network of choice, there are thousands of Discord servers also that are just exploding right now, talking about how busted different cards are and how that one Flaming Fox is going to be comboing with all the various monoliths into ridiculous fashion. So I'm not going to get into all that. You know what, guys? Today, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead and calm down. I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to appreciate a card that I was very, very excited to see get a reprint in this set, and I was surprised at how excited I was. It was funny when I looked at it, I realized, oh yeah, I remember that card, and that card is Ivy Elemental. This guy is great. I'm a big fan of Ivy Elemental. It's silly how much I love this card, but I do. I love this card. It's great. Um, it is an uncommon in this set with X in its mana cost and 1 green. Ivy Elemental enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. It's so simple. It's just such a beautifully clean design. As an elemental, cost 0, comes into play with X 1/1 counters on it. That's it. It fits your curve wherever you are. And it's funny because when you look at it, you think, oh, so it's a crappy Hydroid Crisis. And, well, yeah, but the reason that it's a crappy Hydroid Crisis is because it was originally printed in Odyssey. It was originally printed in Odyssey at a time when something like Hydroid Crisis was completely insane and no one would ever think to make anything that powerful. And as you can see, back in Odyssey, this was a rare. Something that was this versatile, something that gave you this many options, was a big deal back then. This was a very powerful card back in the day. Like okay, very is kind of subjective. I think it was a solid B rare. Like there were decks that could make use of this to good effect. It was actually one that I got in a pack a long time ago, and I really wanted to find I wanted to find a place for it. I wanted to get use out of it. But that's when I realized the joy of converted mana costs and what exactly it means to have a converted mana cost. Because I had a deck with Crows and Drovers in it, and I was like, well, but what if I pay 5 for the My Ivy Elemental? Then it has a mana cost of 6. So does that mean I get 2 off of it? And so I can effectively make it mana cost 8. And my buddies back in the day were like, no, dude. The converted mana cost of the creature card isn't 6. The converted mana cost of Ivy Elemental is 1, but I'm going to pay like 7 or 8 mana for it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The converted mana cost is 1. X always equals 0. So that was something that I realized, okay, it doesn't synergize in those kind of situations. However, if you're dealing with a scenario where you can tutor or you can return, cards from your graveyard to your hand if they have a certain mana cost. I mean, there are a lot of ways around it. So the fact that its mana cost is 1 is not necessarily a problem. But the thing about this that I think is really, really cool is, so Ivy Elemental back in the day was a solid rare. It was fine. Like in the right circumstance, if you had a deck that ramped well enough and could somehow give it trample with something like Rancor, it was it was good. It could be a finisher. Like not amazing. Didn't set the world on fire. There weren't any combo decks that leverage it, at least that I'm aware of. But it was a fine mana sink. It was a perfectly fine mana sink. And I suspect in limited it was great because late in the game, it could just be absolutely gigantic, and big creatures tend to win. That's just kind of the nature of the format. So I love the fact that what they did was they took the old school Ivy Elemental, which is a clean design. It's a very simple, very straightforward, super clean design, and they reprinted it as an uncommon. So it's clearly not powerful enough to be a rare by today's standards. And so giving it the uncommon status puts it at a level where it makes sense, so where it's appearing in the pack, it fits what it's capable of. But Ivy Elemental has another aspect, another element of its very nature as a card that makes it an amazing creature to mutate onto. And that is the fact that its base power and toughness is 0/0. And the power and toughness that you bestow upon it is in the shape of +1/+1 counters. That way, whenever you mutate a creature on top of it, you're getting the mutate trigger of the creature that you're mutating onto it, plus all of the counters. So if you are in a deck that is running mutate, what you can do is add Ivy Elemental as your base, as a creature that just fits at the bottom. And because then what ends up happening is, if it's early in the game and you get it down on turn two, okay, you have a 1/1 you can slap mutations onto. It gives you that foundational base. And then when you slap a, let's say you mutate a 3/3 onto it, well, you put that 3/3 on top, and it gets a +1/+1 counter, so all of a sudden it's a 4/4. Like you've just gotten a 4/4 on in that would otherwise be a turn a 3/3 because you mutated it onto an Ivy Elemental. If the Ivy Elemental comes out on turn three, all of a sudden it's gonna have two counters on it. So that 3/3 that you mutate on top of it is all of a sudden a 5/5, etc., etc., etc. Now, could you do all of these things with cards like Hydroid Krasis or some of the other Hydras that are out there? Yes, you absolutely can. But those cards aren't available in the Ikoria set. And so you're not going to get them in limited. So if you're running any kind of mutation shenanigans in draft or in sealed, keep an eye on this guy. It's going to be a phenomenal base. Plus, something like Hydroid Krasis, you are penalized for playing it early. So if you actually throw it at on turn three, so it's kind of a mixed bag because all of a sudden Hydrocrisis becomes better in the early game because you can mutate onto it later. So that's great. Whereas right now, if you don't have a lot of mana to pour into that X, you're not getting the maximum value because you're not drawing as many cards and you're not gaining as much life. Well, with Ivy Elemental, you don't have any of those concerns. You just need a creature. The other thing that's kind of cool is in those Simic situations, keeping mana up, if you don't have a huge board state where you don't have a huge amount of mana available to you yet, which in Simic you will very quickly. But if you don't, all of a sudden Mutate gives us an option. It gives us something to do with these creatures and a reason to play them early so that you can curve out. And Ivy Elemental just fits your curve wherever you are. It fits the curve. It's just the cleanest, most simple version of that. And in these crazy times, as we're looking at all of these tricolor fetchable lands, and we're looking at the ultimatum cycle, and we're looking at these enchantments that allow you to stock your graveyard and use it for mana, like it's looking at everything that we're seeing in this set. Oh, not to mention commanders and standard are now a thing. Like, and frickin' Godzilla. As if this wasn't crazy enough, we even have Godzilla. So when I was looking through the spoiler pages, racking my brain, trying to understand what is happening right now, like it's chaos. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm really enjoying this pretty good level of chaos. I'm enjoying it now. Tune into my stream in 3 months when I get beat again by, whatever companion coming out of the sideboard out of nowhere. Like, yeah, just watch. It's gonna be bad. The next time the fifth time somebody dirge bats me, I'm gonna like lose my damn mind. But anyway, sorry. But that is all to say, like when I was looking through all of this stuff, all this crazy nonsense, and trying to understand what is happening here. As I was looking through this page, I saw my old friend Ivy Elemental just saying, "Hey, what's up, buddy? It's gonna be okay." I'm like, "Dude, Ivy Elemental, you were always there for me." And it's like, "I know, dude. I was always in your collection. You never did find a deck for me then, but don't worry. There's a place for me now, and it's gonna be okay. There's a place for simple, straightforward, clean design, even in the midst of all of this chaos. I'm not gonna be the bomb you want me to be, but that's okay. I can be the role player. I can be a great role player here. Just trust me. Trust me, Graham. We're going to do this. You and me together." And I'm like, "Thank you, Ivy Elemental. Thank you. I missed you." And Ivy Elemental was like, "I miss you too, buddy. Let's do this." Yeah. So I'm excited. I cannot wait. Honestly, me and Ivy Elemental, we are going to just in with Leaf in hand, we are going to go skipping off into the sunset, and then I'm going to mutate the piss out of that Ivy Elemental and turn it into all kinds of weird stuff. I can't wait. Like, seriously, I think this card is going to be an absolute bomb in Limited. Maybe not bomb, but it's going to be a rock solid card in Limited that fits into a lot of strategies. And at the end of the day, it can just be whatever you want it to be. Like, I think this card's great. Like again, is it better than Krasis? Absolutely not. But Hydra Krasis is a mythic. It'll cost you $30. Ivy Elemental is going to cost you 5 cents, and well, it's going to cost you 50 cents probably when it's all said and done. And you're going to be seeing it show up in sealed and in draft packs. So all in all, I feel like Ivy Elemental is an excellent mutation base, and it fits the set. It fits the idea of creatures that are versatile and can change and match their environments and adapt in weird creative ways. Like I think it I am so glad that Wizards found this um in their backlog and saw the potential that it had in this environment because I think it is going to fit really, really nicely. And I just wanted to say that I'm glad that it's here and I'm cool. I'm glad to see it. And again, in the midst of all this chaos, it was just a moment where it's like, oh, things can be simple. Sometimes it's okay for things to be simple. Um, yeah. So thanks so much for hanging out, guys. This has been a little trip down memory lane with Ivy Elemental. Um, yeah, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for hanging out. You guys are the best. Also, a little bit of housekeeping. In the past, I've been really focusing on making sure that this show comes out every single day. Overthinking MTG. And my my life has gotten kind of hectic. I've got a lot of things going on. So if I'm not able to make this podcast every single day, please bear with me. Now that Ikoria spoilers are done, we're going to be going back to our format of doing a random card every day, and I will continue to put them out as I'm able. I'll also continue to try to bank some, but there may be a few days here and there where I do miss an episode, and if that's a problem, I do apologize. Thank you so much for caring. That means the world to me. But I will be back. Keep on subbing. If you're getting this wherever you get your podcasts, it's also available on YouTube. Go ahead and you know please subscribe over on YouTube. It would be phenomenal. And don't hesitate to leave a comment. It really helps the algorithm, and I appreciate it a lot. So thank you so much, guys. This has been Ivy Elemental. Yeah, and we have been overthinking MTG. And so until next time, you can catch me here on YouTube or Twitter. Well, Twitter at Hawks42, twitch.tv/hamhawks42 is the best place to find me. And I will catch you guys next time. Later.